And Democrats have the Senate majority, so why does this race still matter? To answer that, Niall Stanage with our partners at The Hill. Niall, great to see you. Thanks for being here.
Great to see you, Natasha.
So help us understand why this race is still significant and still has an impact nationally.
Well, there are a number of reasons. One is obviously if Democrats reached 51 seats rather than 50, they would have an extra cushion for close votes. They could drive business through Senate committees, which is a topic that sounds very dry, but is actually important. And it would also reduce the leverage of two somewhat maverick-prone Democratic senators, Joe Manchin and Kyrsten Sinema. If you get to 51 votes, obviously you only need to hold one of those people on board if you're a Democratic leader in Congress. So it's important for a number of reasons.
You mentioned Senate committees, and it can be as dry as bran cereal, but explain very quickly. A lot of voters not having that top of mind, but Senate committee is very important here.
Yeah, I understand that it isn't a topic that people think much about in their day-to-day lives. But the reason it's important is in a 50-50 Senate, which is what we've had for the past 2 years, committees get evenly split in terms of their membership between Democrats and Republicans. That, in the current environment, allows Republicans to greatly slow down the business of the Senate. If Democrats end up with 51 seats, then those committees have a slight Democratic majority. That then enables the Democrats to, in a much more smooth, untroubled way, do what they want to do. And that's particularly important when it comes to judicial nominees. That's one of the key functions of the Senate, and it would make President Biden's nominees have a much easier pathway through to confirmation.
All right, appreciate that. Thank you, Niall. And how would a Warnock win change how political pundits view Georgia? It's a state that is traditionally red.
It is, and it's really a fascinating state because it is in a state of transition, I suppose. It has traditionally been red for a long, long time. President Biden was the first Democrat to carry Georgia at the presidential level since Bill Clinton back in 1992. But there have been a couple of changes. Basically, people have moved in great numbers from more northern, typically liberal states to Georgia, particularly the Atlanta area. And there has also been a big Democratic-led effort to register more voters. Stacey Abrams, the gubernatorial candidate, has been very central to those efforts. So Democrats clearly have been able to secure 2 Senate seats. Last time there was a runoff in January 2021. If Senator Warnock won, perhaps even won comfortably on Tuesday, that would really, I think, underline the way that Georgia is changing and the degree to which Democrats are really competitive there.
Interesting. And how badly does Trump need a Walker win, especially post-midterms?
He needs one pretty badly. The former president had really quite a bad night on Election Day, Natasha. A lot of his high-profile endorsees lost. That, in turn, sharpened the argument made by Republican critics of Trump that he's an electoral liability. He encouraged Herschel Walker to run in the first place, then he endorsed him, then he helped his campaign. Walker did lag in the first round of voting. If Herschel Walker loses, that's pretty bad for Trump. It really does amplify the argument that he does the Republican Party more harm than good.
All right, Niall Stanage, always appreciated. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.